And then in college, I got so depressed trying to be a lawyer that I was like, I think I need to do improv. So hot dog soup, I've now learned there's milk involved.
There's milk involved.
When I got big on the internet, no pun intended.
We have to lay on the floor and wiggle around.
My grandma just goes, no!
In Missouri State.
Harvard and Southwest Missouri, yeah.
Do you feel responsibility in your posting?
Maybe I should. If they don't like it, well, they shouldn't have hired me. Gay people go to New York. Benny, you're on my shit list, brother. Mr. Beast has got like hundreds of millions of followers. I was like, my special comes out next month. Not bad, brother. And they're all actually holding weapons on me. I got bumped by Charlie XCX.
You could be like Cher.
When I have a bad day, it's awesome because I got material.
What are we even doing?
What are we even doing?
Welcome to What Are We Even Doing? I'm Kyle, and you know the drill. I've been talking to artists, actors, creators of all type about their process, their creative process, and how they use social media. And today we have a very special guest. I don't have a good friend, but you're a friend.
Close,
we work together.
Old friend. Yeah.
Old friend.
Old friend.
Overcompensating.
Yeah.
Co-star.
Yeah.
Because we are the stars, not Benny.
Yeah, forget them.
Perfect person, perfect opinions.
Oh,
Caleb, it's so nice to have you with us.
thank you very much. I'm so excited to be here.
I always start questions off by asking you, you're a kid, you're like having fun, and the moment you realize, hey, this is something that I might want to do. Comedy is something that I might want to, there's a spark there, or I think. Or talk to me about that moment, if you can remember or can recall what happened.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think I say this all the time, and sometimes when I say it, I think people think I'm like, clawing at like some kind of like performance of humility or something, but I'm like, the women in my family are like my biggest comedic inspirations. They're so funny, and they're so much funnier than the men. And so I was always just like trying to make them laugh at any given scenario.
Right.
Like every family event, I would gravitate to wherever the women were because they were always talking about more interesting stuff. And I was like, I want to make you laugh,
Yeah.
And I remember when I was like 8, maybe we had a babysitter who, we were all poor. So our parents went in on like a shared babysitter for a couple of the neighborhood kids, and we all had to go to one house to get watched.
Good idea.
Good idea.
I understand that. We had the same experience. So,
Yeah,
okay.
and we would go over there, and she made us these horrible meals. I'm talking like Kyle. One night, I remember this was the big one. She cooked spaghetti noodles and put Thousand Island dressing on it.
Okay.
And she was like, dinner served. And I was like, what? And she made us sit at the table. I was like 8 years old. She made us sit at the table until we finished all of the gruel. And the next day was like recounting to my mom, and we were at some family event. My aunt, my cousins were there. And my mom was calling people over. She was laughing so hard to hear the story of this thing that we were forced to eat. And I was like, this feels good. Like
Yeah.
I felt like a monster or something. I was like
love it.
feeding off of it.
Yeah, but I love that you took the material.
Oh,
this
I was
crazy
like-
thing that you went through and suffered through.
Yeah, I was
basically,
like,
and
let's
turned
eat
it
this
into
slop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then but I still didn't think. I thought I was gonna be a lawyer. I was like, oh, that's just. I'm like, I want to be like because like I said, all the women in my family are funny, but they're also nurses and teachers,
right.
and
Well, your mom's a nurse.
my mom's a nurse.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, funny's not a job. It's just like a way you are in the world.
Yes.
And so I was like, I'll be a lawyer who's funny.
Who's funny, right.
And then in college, I got so depressed trying to be a lawyer that I was like, I think I need to do improv.
So much more fun. But your other story about the reminded me of something that my mom did. So my mom was not a good cook, bless her heart, bless her soul. She made a hot dog soup for Halloween. Bad night to choose to make hot dog soup when you have to go out for trick-or-treating because she scalded the milk. So I'm there as a connoisseur. I'm 8 or 9 years old, and I said, I can't eat this.
Can you tell me so hot dog soup, I've now learned there's milk involved.
There's milk involved.
Yeah,
and
and
hot dogs. And that's pretty much it. Yeah. You got it.
So there's the
Yeah.
milk, which is burnt, and then the hot dogs, which are boiled in milk.
Yeah.
And that's
that's the meal right there.
Damn.
Listen, I want to talk about your background a little bit. So you're from rural Missouri.
Yes.
So population of the town, what do you think?
Well, I grew up mostly in a town. We moved quite a bit.
Okay.
As poor people are wont to do. The town I grew up in was probably like 6,000 people.
Okay, pretty small.
And then we moved to a town of like 800 people.
Oh dear.
And then we moved to a town of like 20,000 people.
Okay.
I basically lobbied my mom. We were in the small town. Her best friend had a kid my exact age who was my best friend.
Right.
And they moved to this 800-person town because she had gotten married to a guy who lived over there.
Okay.
And so we had moved there to be involved with them, to be like go to the same school and to share babysitting and stuff. And then like, I want to say my eighth grade year, I was like, Mom, we got to move to a bigger school district. I'm never going to get a scholarship going to this school. Like we got to get the hell out of here.
Right.
I'm in eighth grade. And she was like,
that's remarkable. You sort of understand that, you recognize that already. So I
just looked around and was like,
thinking,
this is not,
where you
I think
wanna
from a
be.
very young age, I was like, something else needs to occur here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, can we please move to the town over, where she actually already worked. She was driving back and forth.
Okay.
And I was like, can we move over there so I can go to that school? It's a little bigger. I think my graduating class at that school was like 120 or something. But it was a little bit bigger. They had organizations, they had like more activities and more sports and stuff.
Yeah.
And so we moved over there, and that's where I like graduated from.
Yeah.
But still small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your friendship was not important. In eighth grade, you're like, no,
I was like, these losers.
I got a career.
Yeah. I was like, I need to go to college. I can't
think that's about the age when you begin to put it together. I know with my son, so Callum, he was in school in New York until sixth grade, and he just came and sort of said, I feel like a change, something. And we were like, okay, what are you thinking? And he said, because he was born in L.A., spent the first few years in L.A. We always go back to L.A. And he said, I think maybe L.A. We were like, all right, let's see if we can put it in motion. So we listened to him and kind of, tried to make this move happen, and it actually worked out for the best.
That's so cool of y'all to take his lead on that too.
I just, you try to, you try with kids, you try to, what's happening between the lines there. And it wasn't just a fickle thing. There was something going on that he needed to do. So you finished school, and then you decided to go to Missouri State, the Harvard of the Southwest.
Harvard of Southwest Missouri, yeah.
Missouri, yeah.
Everyone's saying.
I totally get it.
Yeah, I went down there. It was like, I wanted to go. I had big dreams. I was like, I'm going to go to school on the East Coast. I'm going to go to New York. I was like, I'd seen gay people on TV. I was like, gay people go to New York.
Right.
And then
And you were sort of, you understood that that's kind of where you wanted to go from around eighth grade, ninth grade, or?
No, I would say like high school. I started to feel like, I started really looking at colleges and being like, where could I get in?
Yeah.
But I didn't have any concept of like, no one from around where I'm from really talks about stuff like that or does that. I mean, I know now I've met people out in the world that are like, oh, I'm from 3 towns over from you and I went to so-and-so, like Harvard or whatever.
Yeah.
I never even concepted that as an idea, but I thought maybe I could go to some school in New York. And I got into a couple East Coast schools, but then I got a really good scholarship in Missouri, and we couldn't afford for me to go do something crazy. So my deal to myself was, I'll go to Missouri State, I'll study politics, and then if I really want to go be in New York or whatever, I'll get internships in the summer. That'll be like my bargain. And that's what I did.
It's so smart.
It was good. I'm glad I did it.
Yeah. No, you were in the perfect place. I did a similar thing. So I went to school at the University of Washington just because that's what you do. Just so happened that there was a training program there while I was there, like a really good one that I was aware of, and I started to go see their work. You know
Acting
what I mean?
what kind of training?
Acting school, University of Washington, and I was like, what is this? And it turns out it was a professional training program, training actors for repertory theater. And they took a class. There was a class of each class was about 12 or 13 students. That was it. So you have to audition, very intense. And they competed in this, at the end of the year, was a League of Professional Training programs. So you had Juilliard, you had Temple, you had SMU, Northwestern, and UW was one of those. And so basically all day you just learned the process of what it takes to become a repertory theater actor. So of course you had your acting classes, you had the movement classes, you had speech classes, stage combat, blah, 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 everything, juggling. Yeah. So I could go to the circus if I needed to. Yeah. And that was it. And it just happened to be where I went to school, thank God, because I would not have been prepared to I'm going to be an actor. I'm going to go to New York. I was like, that wasn't in the card. So it sort of came to me in a strange way, which so super lucky.
I in college was so of course all my friends, should have been assigned sooner. All my friends were like the acting majors and the musical kids, and they were coming back from their, I'm like studying like pre-law, taking like persuasion classes. I'm like busting my ass trying to write like 20-page research papers freshman year. They're coming back being like, movement class was hell today. And I was like, you guys are clowns. I was so pissed off. I was like, knock it off. Like we had to pretend to be a slug for an hour. I was like, I'm getting my ass beat in the poli-sci building. I just truly was like, what are you talking about?
This is not college?
Yeah. I was so mad. And I was like, you guys get to have fun all day. And they're like, it's not fun. It's very serious.
Yeah. We have to lay on the floor and wiggle around. It's terrible. But it feels like all the work that you did in this law run-up, you've used. I mean, you use in your act, your political acumen. I mean, everything is, you sort of have this side of you that's like, the creative side and you have this political side together, and you're able to kind of dance between the two of them because of that.
Yeah, I think about it all the time.
Part of it.
Yeah, I think about it all the time. I mean, I think about politics constantly. I feel like it's funny. I say a lot, like people sometimes when they find out I'm from like very rural Missouri, they'll be like, oh, I'm so surprised you turned out very leftist. And I'm like, I'm surprised that people come from that situation and don't. Yeah. Because politics are all around you. Everyone's so poor and being taken advantage of and lied to. Yeah. But yeah, I think about politics all the time. And I think a big thing that you study when you're studying a degree program like socio-political communication is like, it's just understanding people. It's persuasion. It's enthymemes. It's arguments and what works for people and what doesn't, and central root processing and peripheral root processing, and just how people's brains decide to do or be something, and how you can engage with them on that. It's very interesting stuff, but at the end of the day, that's exactly what comedy is.
Do you feel like you have a voice for people maybe from that community, or do you speak for them, or not? I mean,
I don't think a lot of them would want me to. I don't think they'd like that very much.
Well, their loss.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But you represent and speak about that as like, this is my experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People are like, oh wow, maybe they didn't know, or they don't understand what that's really like.
I feel like it's funny because I keep hearing that we're all so divided. Like I just, this is like the political message of the last couple of years is we're so divided. But I still live in Kansas City and I hang out with people who have all kinds of different ideas. And I'm like, yes, of course, there's a national division among some like really key issues. But I think like part of the work that we'll have to do if we want to like come out of this moment any better is just understand like most people are actually, in my opinion, pretty nice and pretty normal.
Yeah.
Across the board. Like most regular people. More people don't vote than vote for the crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I think it's trying to like mobilize those people and get them excited and interested in the future of this like project of society and democracy.
Yeah.
But I think like, I don't know if I speak for anyone from Missouri, but one thing I'm very passionate about is that I made a very conscious decision in my early 20s that up until then I was like, I'm going to leave here and forget about this place. And I just started to feel very guilty because I was like, well, wait, why do they get to have it? I'm also from here.
Yeah.
And people like me are also from here. And I started to get really pissed off because I was like, they don't get to, like, anti-abortion, anti-women, anti-gay, anti-immigrant type people. Yeah. They don't own Missouri at all. And that actually wasn't most of the people that I interacted with there.
Yeah.
Maybe some people would say things like that in passing, but mostly just because someone else said it at work. Like, there weren't these like strongly held convictions about politics. Where I grew up.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I speak for them, but I'm like them whether we like it or not.
Yeah. I find it interesting going back home. I know growing up in Eastern Washington, I couldn't wait to go away, and do my thing. And then you go back and you visit, and it's in your blood. There's just nothing you can do. So I go back. I have a wine business there, a wine company. I brought you some wine, by the way, today.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, let's go. And it's just, and I love going back, and I love being with the people in the community. And it's, it's farming, it's agricultural, but I'm like, I can relate to this, and I really enjoy it. And it's a really nice difference from what I do in Los Angeles or New York in my work, and I really embrace it.
It's really interesting because I had a similar thing growing up of like, I looked around at all these people that I have so much respect for still that are just busting their ass. Like my grandpa worked on the railroad his whole life. And, people that are doing such like demanding, like physical labor jobs, like working in a mill or a factory or something. And I was just looking around and going like, I respect these people so much, but I don't have it. I was like, I can't, I'm not cut out for it.
I get it.
So I'm either going to be so broke or I'm going to have to go find something else to do.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. Like I think about how many people have to work so hard.
Yeah.
And I just wonder what I would have done if I hadn't ended up doing this. Probably that, but I wonder how I would have felt about it.
Yeah, I know. It can be crushing to understand that the inside what your brain does in the situations like that. And I exactly the same thing because I have friends that are like that as well. And I'm but for the grace of God is how I kind of go, okay, I'm here, I'm working. I got lucky out of school. I've had a lot of success, you know what I mean? And a lot of it has been just, hard work, but also right place, right time, right connection, right people. And it's, the machine has kept turning, kind of like that. And so incredible. The older you get, the older I get, the more gratitude I have because I understand what it could have been. You realize, geez, I nearly fell off the cliff. You know what I mean? Here, just but a gust of wind kind of kept me up, So very, very grateful for that.
All the time when I think about comedy, the best thing that ever happened to me is that I had so many jobs in my teens and 20s. I started working when I was 15. I worked in restaurants, and then I worked in offices in Chicago, and I walked dogs, and I worked at a heating and air conditioning company. I worked at I did all kinds of things.
I love it.
And I learned more about comedy having all these jobs that I had to pay my bills than I did at any comedy theater.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot at the comedy theaters.
But you're a great observer, I think.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, no,
Thanks,
I think
Kyle.
you are. I mean, you watch. We were talking. We did this thing together. We got to talk about it. I don't know. We talk about it. We shot this thing. Okay, we shot. Anyway, it was a commercial. Anyway.
We did something.
We worked together on a thing in New York.
Yeah.
And we hadn't met, but I knew you, overcompensating. I knew of you. We didn't work together on overcompensating. But I was like, I watched you work because it was, you came in as a role and it was kind of thrown together. I felt a little bit. And I said, this guy is very smart. He really knows how to use the camera and he's already editing. That's what I said. I told in my head because I was watching you do, we were doing pickups and stuff. And I remember you repeating the energy that you did from the moment before and actually going back and coming into it. just as an actor. It's just you watch somebody work and you're like, they know what they're doing. They care.
Oh,
they actually care.
Thanks,
you cared
Kyle.
about what you're doing, and I was like, that's pretty cool and smart.
Thank you. That's very, very
Yeah,
nice.
just kind of gleaned all that real quickly.
Thank you. That's so nice. I was equally impressed, genuinely watching you on set, because it's this thing that, you know, people really respect you and really, really look up to you. And you could have been, I'm sure you know people that are like this. I at least have met some of them, but you could come to a thing like that and be a total asshole and get away with it. You really could, because people really respect you, myself included. And the grace and the kindness and the effort that you gave to something like that, I was very inspired by it, because I was like, I feel that way too. I was like, I think I'm so grateful to be here. This is a very lucky thing.
Yeah.
And I was taking cues from you as well on that.
I do think that we have a kindred spirit that way, just in terms of the approach to the work. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I want to have fun. I want to work. I want to create. I want to make something better than what they have necessarily. I want to get their ideas and create something special.
Yeah.
And that's always every day. And I think why do it? You know
Well, and the most important part of that gig that we did, it was a one-day thing for me, but when in between stuff, when they were like, oh, we need another word for this, and you and I are being like, okay, what about this, that?
You had
and like,
some great ideas.
But it's fun to me, that's the process and the point. I'm like, I'm here with a very good actor, and the directors were awesome, and we've got this great set and this whole crew of people that are working really hard.
Yeah.
Like, we get to do the fun part of being like, oh, what if it was this word, or what if Kyle like held it like this, you know?
Yeah.
And that to me is like the most fun of this. I'm like, that's crazy that we get to do that for work.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. And well, you also, I mean, I think you said something about you have comedians, you know, working on a comedy. You got to let them run, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's. I feel exactly the same way. I also want to congratulate you. You're on Rolling Stone's 25 most influential creators. Now you can use your pillow.
Yeah.
So how does it feel? You're more influential than Mr. Beast. I mean,
That's really funny. I don't think the list was meant to be ranked. I think that was just there happened to be numbers next to our names. I know. I could care. I mean, it's so funny too. I've been reflecting, because for anyone who doesn't know, I was on a Rolling Stone list mostly because I have publicists, because I have an HBO special coming out. Let's be very clear about that. There's like paid people who work very hard on this. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Gosh, I don't know. I've been thinking about, like, Mr. Beast did this thing where he like screenshotted my face and was like, the Rolling Stones think this guy is more influential than me. And I was like, to be honest, he has a point. I laughed really hard when I saw it. I was not offended in the slightest. I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not interested in like what list I'm on.
Right.
But I was like, and honestly, that guy's got like hundreds of millions of followers. I was like, my special comes out next month. Not bad, brother. Let's run up my name a little bit.
Yeah.
But I was like,
your heat.
Yeah. He was very nice. He messaged me and he was like, I'm so sorry. I don't want to give away too much of, you know, I hope he doesn't feel that I'm giving away too much of our conversation. But he messaged me and I was like, dude, I thought it was funny. No worries at all. Yeah. He was like, I deleted it and I apologize. And I was like, yeah, I'm not bent out of shape about it. But I have immense gratitude not gratitude, but empathy for that guy, because he is a level of famous that I struggle with, like the level of attention that I have, which is a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage compared to him, which I guess was his point.
Yeah.
But he is like one of very few people in the history of the world that have had to deal with that level of public comment and scrutiny about him.
Yeah.
And whether it's founded or not, whether we like that he's doing the wells or the prosthetic legs or whatever, I don't really know what he's up to all the time. But I was just telling him when we chatted, I was like, you know, I really wish you well. I hope you have people to talk to, because he was kind of saying, I don't know why I got so spun up about the list thing there for a moment. That's not my actual beliefs. That's why I deleted it. And I was like, of course you got spun up about it. We work in an industry that's all about who's the most relevant and who has the most attention at any given time. And if you're not really, really careful and really grounded and really healthy, it's easy to get spun up about something like that.
Yeah.
So I really feel for him. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was quite funny. It's honestly only good for me. I did when he messaged me. I was like, hey, no worries. My special's out next month if you want to share it. I just want people to watch my special, you know?
I love it.
But
well, your response, it was very generous, I think, when you responded to him, and kind of funny.
I thought it was funny.
What I mean? Yeah.
I laughed.
Depending on what people say, it's like I always I respond in some way positive, something positive.
Yeah.
Just like, or make a joke of it, or make light of it, or.
I'm thinking about the list, and I'm like, it's actually not a compliment to me to be called influential. I'm not chasing influence. It's part of my job. I want to be really good at comedy. I want to make people laugh. I want to like hopefully do something nice for like the people where I'm from. I try to like do things in Kansas City to make it better. I try to like help my friends and family when I can, but like influence is pretty low down on the list of things I'm actively trying to chase in my present-minded day.
Right.
Maybe it's somewhere in there. There's certainly something wrong with me that I do this for a living. But I don't, I'm not like every day waking up and being like, where's my influence? I don't like that.
I think it's to bring joy to people. You seem like a person that likes to bring joy to people. You know what I mean? Just whether it's your humor or you're just who you are. I feel similar, actually. It's like I like to have fun. I like to make people laugh, lighten their day. You know what I mean? Do some work. Hopefully the work is good, makes you think. But it's like I don't care where I am in the list of things. You know what I mean? It's just because I am lucky. I get to do what I love.
I want to be part of joy. I want to. It's not like a selfless thing where I'm like, I get on stage to make sure that nurses get off their shift and have something to laugh about after. I want to be part of joy. It's also self-serving. I want to make you laugh because it makes me feel good to be involved in the joy of all of us laughing. Yeah. It's not like a magnanimous like gift that I'm trying to bestow. It's like, no, I want to be part of joy. Yeah. I want to be like in the equation of people having a good time. Yeah. And that's what I like about my job.
Well, you are super busy. You have a lot going on. I thought I was busy, but you put me to shame. So
no, knock it off.
That. There are comedians I look back on for inspiration. You must have some that you go, oh, this person, that person, the comedy of when I think of Tim Conway, he just and Harvey Korman together on Carol Burnett show. I'm just like, I'm sorry. That's one of the best duos ever, and I can't stop laughing when I see him. So I don't know, who do you respond to? Do you have any sort of favorites that you
totally it's funny you bring up Carol Burnett show. Before my last tour I watched a ton of Carol Burnett show.
So great.
My last tour was a bit of a variety show, and I was just watching, and I was really like, I hadn't watched it in a long time, and I had never watched it in a way where I was like paying attention to be like, what were they doing? She would do that cast would do like an 8-minute long sketch in a single location, and then go from that into a 10-minute long tap dance routine, and go from that into 5 minutes of her sitting and singing a song. The attention span and like the dedication to a single bit, I was so like enamored by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, my comedic influences, like I said, mostly genuinely day-to-day, the women in my family, but from a comic standpoint, different people throughout different times. Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell.
She's funny.
Roseanne Barr back in the day, original Roseanne, back before everything. Anybody, Queen Latifah, Monique's Queens of Comedy set. If anybody is a comedy fan and hasn't seen Monique's Queens of Comedy set, it is so spectacular and so loose and so... I think when I first started, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I got to see it.
She opens it, Kyle, she comes out of like a turning pyramid and walks down in like this leather like bralette kind of look, and she's still real fat at the time, so she's like coming out real fat in the sexy little outfit, and she starts out by being like, every fat bitch in here should be standing up and applauding me, like she's just like giving it to the audience immediately, and then the set is very loose, and it really, when I first started comedy, I was so like, oh man, you're only a real comedian if you're very tight and you do all the Which is funny because growing up, my dad showed me like a lot of Carlin, a lot of Richard Pryor. Yeah. But the way she just owned the stage and kept it very conversational and very loose, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's impressive. That's impressive. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. As I'm looking at you, I'm going, why don't you host a variety show? I mean, think about that. You could be like Cher. Yeah. You just have your show.
People are saying that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
People are saying
that. And it's an art form that I don't think it exists, right? I mean...
The variety show?
Yeah. Does it?
I don't know who's doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's doing it.
Like that in that way. Yeah. Like Sonny and Cher's show or Carol Burnett show or things that I grew up watching. And it was like the different things and the skill set, the skills that it requires. Yeah. Like you said, the singing, the dancing, comedy, all of these things. I don't know.
I don't know who's doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that kind of stuff. I love like... And I miss like big comedy movies too. Like I miss like John Candy films, like big, like funny, just like I don't know who's doing stuff like that. But my last tour was very like that, and I had a ton of fun. We did like pre-taped sketches. We had musicians and drag queens. I did a little bit of stand-up. We had an interview because it was technically my podcast.
Yeah. Okay.
But I like that stuff a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree. So tell me about social. How do you use your social? I mean, promotion stuff. Because on your site there's all sorts of places you can go and see different kind of things. But I was like, I should have this. This is what I need to do with
like the Linktree thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really helpful for I feel like we have to do so many things now. You have to be.
Yeah, you got to
You have to podcast and you have to stand up and if you want to be an actor, good luck, and you have to be directing and you have to be. Yeah. And I get excited about that on most days. But social media I have a very complex relationship with. It's you know, I'm very grateful for it because I don't think I would have a career without it. It's like been every moment of my career, something from social media has really like pushed things along.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't start on the internet, I started doing live stuff in Chicago, and that was kind of how I wanted to do it.
Right. On stage, you're performing in front of an audience. Yeah, which is, I mean,
it's the best.
the best.
And it's especially, I would really encourage people if there's somebody who like, if they're a young person, like a teenager or something that is wanting to get into comedy and they're seeing the internet as the only route, I would say totally do it, do the internet, but please develop a live skill, because especially with AI and all these things that are like kind of destroying the fabric of some of like what we love about entertainment, the one thing that can never be taken from us is the ability to stand up in front of a room full of people and make them feel something.
It is the hardest thing. Like when I think of stand-up, I think there is no genre that is more difficult, more challenging than stand-up. Like I think of it and I'm like, I mean, it's tough to do a play, to be on stage.
Yeah.
Right. And I've done 2-handers and 3-handers, and that's tough. But to carry a show by yourself.
See, I'm so much more scared of a play. I've never done a play in my life. And the idea of like, especially something like Shakespearean or something super true to the text.
Right.
To me, at this point, it would be so much harder because now I'm so comfortable on stage being like, if someone drops a cup, I'm like ready to do 5. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like I'm up there, I'm changing things on the fly.
Yeah.
The idea of being like, every word of this has to be correct.
Yeah.
Ooh, that scares me.
It's kind of a cool, I understand what you mean, but there's a tension in it that's creative at the same time, because you have limits. You're limited.
Yeah.
So you had to say, okay, I've got to create this world night after night after night, and I've got to find something slightly, for me, every night there's a slightly different thing that's going to happen, and it's, you know, it doesn't matter to anybody but yourself, really. Right. The audience isn't going to know because it's a different audience, but it's just like to keep it alive. And there's something about it that I really love. Like when Twitter first started, right? Yeah. You had a limit, right? It was like you got to create in this amount of time. These are the words. These are the characters that you had. And I said, okay, I got to come up with something that's kind of cool, maybe a little more unexpected. You know what I mean? But you have to really work. It's like poetry. You got to like really figure it out. That's the way I approached it, because it became more creative and more interesting to me. And that's kind of like doing a play. I haven't done a play for so many years because I like film and TV too. I like to just let's try it again this way. You know, let's do this, because there's something so wonderfully creative and flowing about just letting it roll. You know?
Yeah. Social for me, like it's there are things about it I think are very cool. I think
you feel responsibility when you're posting, or no?
Maybe I should. Maybe I should start doing that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like, I do. I definitely am aware that people like look to me for something that they want me to. I definitely had to deal with a lot of my body stuff when I got big on the internet. No pun intended. Because so many people started to message me about like, oh, your confidence or your whatever. And I was like, oh, I do feel that way, but I just had to be very careful about the way I talked about my body, because a big part of my audience is like young people who are queer or fat or, you know, whatever. They've got these things about their body that they're thinking a lot about. Right. And I learned very quickly that part of the reason they follow me is because that I just live my life happily and don't remark on that so much, or don't remark at least negatively.
Right.
That was a weird thing, but social, I view it as like, it's become this thing that like gives me the freedom to behave how I want to behave. I don't have to go and beg casting directors or writers' rooms to hire me, that I've got this thing that makes money and sells my tickets and keeps me around people and creating. Yeah. And then I get to just do the things I like. I get to go do Benny's show for a couple days. I get to go do, you know, any movie that I'm excited about or whatever. Yeah. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's this like thing I can do in the background. But you have such an interesting relationship with social media to me, because I'm like, I think a lot of people who use social media, who have the kind of career and legacy that you have, use it in a very cynical way, that it's like, okay, my intern's making me, you know, but you really feel so like engaged with it and actually paying attention, and it's actually so delightful to watch.
I have help.
Well, of course.
They're all sitting right here.
They're all here, and they're all actually holding weapons on me, being like, you better tell him his social's good.
Oh, don't do it.
Someone has a bow and arrow, which is random. But do you enjoy it? I mean, you're so fun on there.
I really do. I mean, first of all, I'm silly. You know what I mean? And I'm embracing my silliness as I get older. And I feel like the difference, just generational difference between when I started, you know, and I look back on who you know, the people that I admired and sort of looked to for inspiration, you know, Brando and Jimmy Dean and Montgomery Clift and all these actors, you know, it's like that generation, and then gave way to like Steve McQueen and some of these other actors that were sort of more tough guy. And I looked to these actors, and they were all like, oh, I can't be bothered. Yeah. You know, it's just, PR, I'm not going out for that. No, they're not going to see me, you know. And they were all just tucked away. And I was like, And I was like, oh, so that's how you have to be. So it was kind of to the press, it was sort of it was a love-hate, you know. It's like, oh, I gotta do this. And then after a while, I said, well, I don't really feel that way. I actually really enjoy engaging. I like going on, smiling, talking to people. I like, I don't want to have to censor myself in any way, you know what I mean? And try to be kind of cool. I said, just be yourself, for God's sake. And for me, social has allowed me to just be like, you know what? We're letting it all hang out. And the greatest thing about it is, this generation feels to me like, yeah, we want that.
Yeah.
We want the authentic you. And I'm like, all right, I'm happy with that. I don't care. My hair's crazy. I don't care. It's what it is. Accept me for, as you see me. And I'm like, I think that is so freeing, you know?
Do you think that you spent any time in your life, like, I think about this a lot, like who's mysterious and who's not. I'm decidedly not. Everyone knows everything about me. And I have artist friends, especially musician friends who are mysterious, and no one knows anything about them. And I'm like, God. And I feel myself sometimes wanting to chase it. Did you ever chase like mysteriousness or aloofness?
I tried. But the problem was I wasn't cool enough, and everyone just forgot about me.
You're too silly.
We didn't even know you were not there. I was in the corner being mysterious, and I said, we didn't see you.
You stifling your silliness, and they're like, okay.
I know. I'm like, I'm much more comfortable doing this. And honestly, it was the way I was, before you know any better. When you're in junior high and high school, I just was very silly, and then you sort of get like, okay, I'm an actor, so I got serious. And then all it goes away. Yeah. And for me, that's been social. Has been that, and some of the TikTok stuff and the Instagram stuff has been just fun and silly, and I enjoy it because it really suits who I am really at heart. Yeah, which I love.
I mean, you seem genuinely, to me, interested and invested in like what is going on there. And
this is the journey of my podcast. It's helping me to understand, to discuss what's happening. What are the creative waves that are coming into the shore right now? Because they're different. We're older. We're past now. We have our own sort of thing. But what's the new stuff? And where is that going? I'm very curious about that. So
I really hope it's going towards. I'm 30, and I really hope that I think my fans are predominantly in their 20s and 30s. Mm-hmm. I would really, really, really love for more people to just get out and see something. Mm-hmm. The phones are there. Like the phones are here all the time. We've got the option. We can always log on and see somebody doing something. There's way too much to see on there. Yeah. It's awesome. It's cool. Yeah. I would just love for people to go and see stuff. Go see a movie in theaters. Go see a play. Go see a stand-up show, a concert. Like really just go.
Yeah. I feel like, and I agree with you, because I feel like the emotional experience that you will have in that situation, whether it's a live show or, as you said, like a film in a large theater where that's it's overwhelming, is a different experience that is worthwhile. You certainly have an experience here and watching TV and at your home, that's fine. But there's a sense of immersion that I think we miss from this little screen that you get from a live show where you completely lose yourself for a period of time in what's happening. And I think that's really important.
And being in it with other people, and particularly strangers. I think there's a lot of antisocial behavior in like, there's so many rules now that people are trying to like carry out on each other that's like, I don't want to go to the theater because I might hear someone talking. It's like, of course you will. Yeah. That's fabulous. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's the point of watching a movie with strangers. Yeah. They shouldn't talk through the whole thing, right. But also if they do, it's a funny story. You know what I mean? I just think like more being around strangers, being inconvenienced by strangers, connecting with other people. Because also if you do hear someone talking through the whole movie, there's going to be like two other people in your row that are like, fuck,
shut the fuck up.
And you're going to be like, thank you. You know what I mean? Like that connection I think is so
real.
Cool.
Something real is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why you like New York so much, because in New York, really, you're engaged. Yeah. If you're on the street, you're engaged. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, as opposed to Los Angeles. So, anyway, okay, I want to hear quickly about, well, not quickly, Little Brother. Yeah. And Trash Mountain. Yeah. Can you talk about any of those, or is it too early?
No, I'm sure I can. Okay. And if they don't like it, well, they shouldn't have hired me. No, Little Brother, so fun. Matt Spicer is directing. They're still making it. Jared Paul and Andy Mogul. I always get their names mixed up. I want to do their last names different because they're a writing duo. But they actually directed a pilot I did for TBS years ago that didn't go. And John Cena's in it. Eric Andre, Chris Maloney, Ega Wodum, Sherry Kolob, Ben Allers. So funny. It's a great cast. Everyone's so nice. And it's a big, dumb ensemble comedy that I got to be a part of. Fun. And I got to play a kind of psycho guy, like a reality TV producer, I think I can say. But that was really fun. I just finished that one. Right. And Trash Mountain, Lily Wachowski producing, Colin Trevorrow producing. depending on when we get it made. Chris Ray right now is set to direct. Lily was in that role, but we lost a window. You know how it goes.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a movie I wrote immediately after my dad passed away unexpectedly. He was a hoarder, and I had to go home and deal with that and his passing at the same time.
Okay.
So it's a laugh riot, the movie. But yeah, it's about my experience with my dad passing and me going home for that.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Comedy or
Like it's like the way that it's like an indie drama, but it's very much rooted in like my family's whole deal of like, I'm telling you, my dad passed. I got the news. I was with my family. I'd happened to be in Missouri at the time. I wasn't living there. I was in Kansas City for a concert. I was home within an hour. Within an hour and 15 minutes, we were laughing. You know what I mean? Like we're just dark comedy, like people who laugh at stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that.
Okay, so do you? So I wonder, because I wonder if it's the same thing for me. So both my parents are gone, but when I get together with my brothers, they're very much alive, and we laugh a lot about them. And it's in a way, we're keeping them around us, kind of keeping them alive by remembering the funny moments and enjoying the funny moments that we had with them.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like that or if it was.
It feels like it's like what my dad would have wanted, and like also there's just so many funny moments. Like we had to go to the funeral home, and there was the funeral director was so hilarious. Like this good old boy, like in the middle of nowhere, Missouri. Right. And he was telling, my grandma was a mess, of course, and he was telling us we're all sitting in this tiny little like rural Missouri funeral home director's office.
Oh God, okay.
And he's like, well, we're gonna cremate him, and they got this new thing now where you can put their ashes into a piece of art and hang it in your house. And my grandma just goes, no. And we all go, what? And she goes, no art.
No.
And we were like, okay, girl. Like just things like that where it's like that guttural no. And then having to say no art was just like, I know what she meant. She thinks it's like disrespectful or whatever.
Right.
But just a million things like that where you're like, this could not have been. When someone dies, you have to get like 8 death certificates to prove that they're dead. I'm like, there's a body. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many things. So funny. So funny.
And you were there observing, because I think you were a great
I'm
observer.
watching. I'm paying attention.
Yeah. And you're like making notes. Because I'm a similar way. I watch, and then I'm like, I remember that. And I'll use it for like, that's a really good idea for like something, down in the future.
This is the great thing about being an artist, though, don't you think? Is like when I have a good day, it's awesome because I had a good day. When I have a bad day, it's awesome because I got material.
Yeah.
It's like, this is great. Yeah. My dad died. That really sucks. Wish he was still alive, but we're going to get something out of this.
Yes. That's the way to look at it. That's beautiful.
But yeah,
it keeps them alive.
We'll see when we get it made. We're still, we're doing the dance between everybody's schedules and the funding. But I imagine that we'll make it in the next like half a year or something.
I hope so. It sounds like a really interesting, and we'll learn more about you.
Yeah.
And learn about the family and where you come from. And I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
All right. So when we come back, we're going to play a little game. You have said if you've got a comedian on set and you don't let them improvise, you're missing out. So we heard you. And we're going to honor you as celebrities.
Yeah.
Celebrities.
You nailed it.
Oh, yeah, it was perfect. I'm an actor who prepares. Okay, we decided to create a spin-off of your Truth and False segment, so over it, so true. Mm-hmm. So we're going to play Truth or Elaborate. Mm-hmm. Okay, when we come back, we'll do a little more explanation when we get back, so stay tuned. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to switch off giving each other scenarios from each other's past, right? So some are true, some are not true. Mm. I will have 15 seconds to rant about the scenario to try to convince each other, one of us, that it's true. Yes. And if it is true, then you give it a little thumbs up, and if you don't believe it, thumbs down. Okay, got it. That's good. Okay, do you want to go? You want to read one first? Or me? Okay, I'll read. Okay, here we go. Okay. I can't wait. I love the build-up. Your mother once took your PlayStation away from you, and you told your school administrators you were unsafe at home. Oh, yeah. Well, so basically I had a PlayStation, and my mom wanted to take it away for punishment. Then I went to school, and I said, well, I'm being abused, because she took my PlayStation, and that's not right, and that's abuse. Right. So, that's all you got. Okay. I think that this is true. Really? I really tried. Yeah, you got it. I really tried to play it an either way kind of vibe, but okay. Okay. Are you ready for yours? I'm ready. Okay. Actress Frances Sternhagen, who played your mother Bunny in Sex and the City, was actually your aunt in real life. It was a weird thing because we learned about... Did I get it right? I gave it away. Yeah! I was like,
Let's go. I couldn't contain myself.
They didn't tell me these, so that's a real reaction.
Did you research mine? Do you know these about me, or did you do research?
I did know the first one.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But only because I did a deep dive.
I really appreciate.
What can I say?
For real.
Okay, you got a perfect score on the math section of your SAT.
So people don't believe this, which
Right.
is offensive.
Yeah.
But I did, because I really had a math teacher that I actually really liked in high school,
Right.
Mrs. Limbaugh, and she was actually so nice to me in math class, even though I was kind of a problem. I was always like yapping.
Right.
But I actually really took to math because of it.
Ah.
Yeah.
So you very convincing.
In fact, it's not true.
Bada
Come on.
boom.
Come on.
That was, you
Bada
said her
boom.
name. You said
Come
her
on.
name.
Yeah.
That was
Do you
the
know who I
actor.
thought of when I was thinking of the name?
I love the Miss
Rush
Limbaugh.
Limbaugh.
That was so funny.
Oh!
But see, that's convinced me. He went with a name. I was like, whoa. I said, okay. But I didn't think of Rush Limbaugh.
Well.
But can you imagine a teacher looking like Rush, a female teacher looking like Rush Limbaugh?
If they exist, they're somewhere near my school district. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay.
Over the past 15 years, you've become an expert in beer crafting and fermentation.
Yes, I grew up in Yakima, Washington. I don't know if you know, but Yakima is the hop capital of the world, and there's all sorts of different beers that come out of there. Hops are grown there. In fact, when I was in high school, I worked in a hop field. I harvested hops, which is a very strange process where you have to ride like a ladder, and the hops grow up a chain.
Do you not? God damn it! I thought maybe because of the wine of it all. I thought maybe, and you did so good.
That was good.
Good
I tried to get neutral because I know the other one. I gave it away immediately.
I worked hops in high school. I mean,
Yeah.
what the hell?
Yeah. But in fact, it's a little bit of truth. I didn't
Yeah.
work hops,
But tell
but
them
I
where
had
you
friends that
actually
worked
worked in high
hops.
school.
And Moxie, the hop capital, and I know exactly how they grow.
Yeah.
And how you harvest them, and so yeah, it was close.
Is Yakima the hops capital of the world?
It's
the U.S.?
right, real close. I think near Yakima.
Because I want you to know that is what convinced me. When you said Yakima's the hops, you said that with such a clarity
yes,
and sincerity.
yes,
I was like, that part's true. So
Yeah.
the rest of it's tracking. That was the one that got me. If you ever need to tell this lie again, stick to that.
I'm going to
'cause
go
that was-
Yakima hop capital
There
of
you
the
go.
world, whether it's true or not. Okay. All right, this is good. Okay. On the set of Overcompensating, you spilled your entire drink on Mary Beth, and the entire production was delayed 6 hours until wardrobe could get a new outfit for Mary Beth. And I know Mary Beth; she's very picky.
She is, and she wears these delicate little sweaters and like little blouses and stuff in that show. And she and I were enemies. You weren't there on the day that I was shooting.
was
with
not,
me.
yeah.
She and I were enemies, and my big enemy scene with her got cut. But basically, I improvised the thing where I was going to like pretend to throw a drink at her, and I did actually throw my drink at her.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was so well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
It is not true. But we were enemies, and they did cut. I was so sad. Benny, you're on my shit list, brother. I had such a funny scene with Mary Beth.
Why did they cut
that
it?
They had, I'm sure for time, because it was Charlie's episode. They had so much going on.
Oh, Charlie.
But I know. It's
so
always, I
demanding.
got bumped by Charlie
So
XCX.
demanding. Come on. That's funny. We're friends, so it's okay. But what I love about that is it's always good to sprinkle in a little bit of truth.
Yes. That's how you
Telling
really
a
lie.
Yeah. You got to
Yeah.
sprinkle in some truth.
You and me, two liars. We know how to really lie. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. When you got the script of The Blue Velvet from David Lynch, you showed it to your mother, who begged you not to take the part.
Well, actually, I did. It was my second screenplay that I ever read. David gave it to me while we were filming Dune, and at that time, my family was really involved. And I sent it to my mom, and I sent it to my dad as well. My dad read it, and he said, "No, "Fine, no problem." My mom, but she didn't respond. So her husband actually reached out to me and said, because my mom she had cancer at the time, and I said, "Well, I don't want to do anything that's going to make her upset." And I showed it to her, and she said she didn't say she demanded, but she said, "I'd rather you not. I'd rather you not." So
Was it true?
it was true.
Bring up the cancer really threw me. Bring up the cancer threw me.
I thought maybe I was going too far with that. I said, I think I've got him on the hook. The cancer is going to set the hook, or he's going to spit it out.
Bring up the cancer
And you
really
spit
threw
it out.
me.
That was
'Cause
what
I
it
was
was.
like,
You're both sociopaths.
Damn it.
oh, well,
Yeah,
you
I
did
was sad.
great. I did okay.
I did. I got one? No.
I got one.
He got two. You got one.
You got two. I got one.
I got two. I think
yeah.
we're both
well,
winners.
for having experienced it, yeah.
Exactly right.
For surviving.
Oh, okay. And you get to keep this.
Will you sign it for me?
Yes, of course.
That's so sweet. That's memorabilia. I'm gonna sell that for big money on eBay.
You're gonna be.
That's
I
the
mean,
kind of thing you can't even
you could
beg for.
You could retire
Yeah.
on that. Okay, so anyway, that's all the time that we have. I mean, we have more time in the day, but that's all the time that we have.
This is the end of my day.
Did we figure out what are we even doing? I guess we made a good attempt.
Yeah, well, I think we're having fun.
Yes.
And I think we're hanging out, making wine,
Yes.
etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there'll be wine for you after the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having
Perfect.
me.
Yeah, what a great pleasure. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Big fan of yours. Big fan of yours.
Thank you. It's so mutual.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks,
All right,
y'all.
everybody.
Appreciate you.
Yay! What Are We Even Doing is a production of iHeart Media and the Elvis Duran Podcast Network, hosted by me, Kyle MacLachlan, and created and produced by Full Picture Productions. Yay! Featuring music by Yada and artwork by Danica Robinson. For more information about the podcast, please visit our Instagram and TikTok at WAWED with Kyle. Please rate, review, and subscribe to What Are We Even Doing on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Exclamation point.